Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. So I was one of the people lucky enough to get consoles on release date. The first consoles I ever got on release date, and they were the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5, both of which I managed to pre-order, one off Amazon and the PS5 off Currys, which is a UK electrical store. Yeah, I was very lucky. I'll say that much. I was very lucky, especially for, both of them. Both of them I overslept. The Series S I overslept. The Series X sold out, but the Series S was on Amazon available. No queue, no queue required. It was just there. And for the PS5, I woke up so many hours late. I don't know how I got a PS5, to be honest. But I was literally in my locker room for work when I got in the queue, like before I went to work. I was in the queue for an hour. And literally 10 minutes before my shift started, I got into the front of the queue and they said, pay £5 deposit. You've secured your PS5. You can pay for it next week. I'm just like, how have I managed both of these? How have I done this? But yeah, very lucky, very lucky. So today and next week at some point, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on each console after a year of owning them. I also have bought a Series X since then, but that was in April or March. So I'm not going to do a year review because it's not been that long. So yeah, the Xbox Series S. How good is it? Pretty good. Pretty good. It's not... I've got the Series X now. The Series X is miles better. But it's good for what it is. It plays most games at 60 FPS. I know they promised 120. There are some games that do, but for the most part, you're getting 60 FPS. It's smooth. It's good gameplay. You're not going to get the same high resolutions as you would on a Series X. You still get a 4K resolution on your main menu, and probably when you're watching a movie. But with games, it's going to play it's going to prioritize refresh rate. Obviously, it's not as powerful as a GPU. For me, one of the most impressive parts of the Series S is, in fact, the sound. And there is no sound. It is the quietest of the three consoles. Take it for someone who has all three. The Series X is quiet, but when you go near it, you can hear the fan, you can hear it's turned on. Like, it's not loud. When you're playing the game, you can't hear it, but if you're right next to it, you can hear the Series X. It's not a silent console, but it does seem like it's silent. The PS5 is silent for the most part, but when you got a disc in it, it gets louder. For some reason, when it spins a disc, it makes a noise. It doesn't do it 24/7, but it does it at random times. It does it when you insert a disc. It does it when you install a game. Even if it's not the game that it's on the disc, it will still go loud. Like, you could put a Call of Duty disc in the PS5 and download Far Cry, but it would start going loud even though a different game's downloading. It doesn't make any sense. But when there's a disc inside it, for some reason, it wants to be loud for a few seconds and then it stops being loud. It has a few episodes. It's like having mood swings. I don't know. But for the most part, it's still silent. But the Series S, I've never seen it make a noise. Actually, apart from it turning on. When it turns on, there's a beep. That's it. I have never heard the Series S. I've been right up close to it. All right? It's never made a sound. That is bloody impressive. Especially considering, like, you can play new games on there and everything. The new Forza came out recently. You can play some big games on there and you won't hear a thing from it. And that's amazing. And for £250, the fact that it plays next-gen games and it's quiet and it's very small. There are drawbacks and flaws. Sure, it's not as powerful. And it could be, outdated if, they release even more powerful versions at some point. But for what it is, for £250, it's probably the most, bargain. It's bargainable. I don't know. It's a bargain. It's probably the biggest bargain out of consoles. Like, considering what you get for the price, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. One drawback is the giant vent in front of it. It gets hot. Even if you're not playing that demanding a game, that black vent of the console gets hot. The rest of the console's fine. The rest of the console is pretty much cold, like it feels, normal. But that big vent, that big circular vent, you put your hand on that. It's not gonna burn, but you'll feel the warmth. To be fair, it probably helps in the winter if you put your hand next to an Xbox Series S, because it genuinely gets that warm. It's it's quite interesting. So yeah, the thing is, just like with the PS5 actually, there's not been enough games on either console, and I think there's been a problem, and I feel like both consoles have been saved by other things. The PS5 I'll talk about next week more, but the PS5 for me has been saved by being PS4 compatible. 99% of PS4 games play on PS5. If that wasn't the case, the PS5 would have struggled a lot with games. It would have, definitely. The fact that it had PS4 games like available to play on it, I think it saved its first year, honestly. But never mind. Series S and X, what saved them is Game Pass. And I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something, brothers. Game Pass is amazing. Game Pass is amazing. You get a nice big library of games. Yes, I know not all the games stay there forever. Some stay for a year, some stay for a few months. Like GTA 5 was on there for like 2 months. I was annoyed when it came off. Yeah, sometimes that gets annoying. But even when games get taken off, you get a wide range of so many different types of games you can play. And they put their exclusives on there. And that's the reason I bought the Series S and X in the first place. I'm a PlayStation guy. My main console is the PlayStation, and it still is the PlayStation. But I bought an Xbox because I wanted all the games. I want to play the exclusives. And I got a couple PCs, and I know that they're putting the games out on PC as well. But I still wanted the exclusives on the Xbox, on a console. I prefer console gaming. I wanted Xbox's exclusives. That's why I bought an Xbox. And the fact that they put those exclusives on the Game Pass, that is incredible, because I bought it for those things. And the fact that I don't have to pay to be fair, over time, the amount you pay for Game Pass, it kind of adds up. But still, like, instead of just whipping out £60, I can just play it. And the 2 games I wanted to play most were on there when the Series S came out. Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Motorsport 7. Those are the 2 games I wanted to play the most when I got an Xbox. And they were both just there on Game Pass. Motorsport's been taken off now. But still, they were both there, ready for me to play. And now, not just now, they've been doing it. But they put their new releases, exclusive new releases, on Game Pass. Forza Horizon 5. It's the base game, but it's still Forza Horizon 5. It is on the Game Pass, and you can play it on release day. Halo Infinite you can play on release day. They also have all the other Halo games on the Game Pass. I've already played through the first one. I actually haven't even finished that one yet, actually, to be honest. Because I took on the flood, then I got lost. Because I took down the flood, and then I didn't know where to get out. I spent like half an hour walking around. How do I leave this place? And then I just gave up. But I'll go back to that, playing that anyway. But I look forward to the new Halo game. But the fact that you can play the rest of them on the Game Pass as well, and also the new one when it releases, that's amazing. It really is. And also Flight Simulator recently came out on Xbox as well, and you can play that on Game Pass. So for me, it's a big bonus. Plus, they have EA Play. EA Play is good. I'm not a huge fan of like EA servers, for example, and some of EA's games. But you can't deny that they make some great games. They make some big games. Even if you don't think they're great, they make some big games, that are playable. They have a lot of FIFAs on there. The older ones are definitely better. They have NHL, they have other sports, and they have F1 up till last year. F1 2020 is on the Game Pass, which is cool, because I've recently got into F1. I used to watch F1 quite a lot, and I sort of lost interest, and I'm getting back into it now, and I also enjoy playing the games now. I've got 2021 on PS5, enjoying it. Tried 2020 on Game Pass, and that was fun as well. So, F1 is another type of game that I find fun, and they got like 5 of those on the Game Pass. So, that's great. So, stuff like that, that's great. Game Pass is a huge bonus. If Game Pass wasn't there, the Series S, I think Series X and X would have struggled in the first year, in my opinion. But still, now more games are coming out. Games are starting to release now. Games that I'm interested in, games that other people are interested in. Recently, obviously, FIFA came out, which I lost interest in. I didn't buy it this year. Call of Duty just came out. Riders Republic, Forza, Battlefield's coming out soon. You know, there's so many more games coming next year as well. So finally, these consoles are getting the games that they deserve. To be fair, there's not many console exclusives yet. Obviously, that's going to start rolling out soon. But it's been a year now, and the consoles are still hard to get, which is quite crazy. The Series S isn't hard to get, but the other two, they're so hard to get a year after, which is ridiculous. So I think the fact that they're releasing games that are still playable in both new gen and old gen, I think that's a good thing, considering there's a lot of PS4 owners who can't get a PS5. There's a lot of Xbox One owners who can't get a Series X. So I think it makes sense that right now they're releasing games that are available on both, you know, cross-platform games. But eventually they're going to have to make exclusive games for the new consoles, and I look forward to those. But at the moment, I think they're doing the right thing. But yeah, my thoughts on the Series S after the year, it's a good console. It needed games, sure, but Game Pass was there, and that was great. And I've actually got 4 controllers. I got 2 for my Xbox. You see, what I do is, right, instead of doing the charging wire thing, when my controllers are low on battery, I put it on the charger and I get the other one. You know, it's substitution. It's rolling substitution. Switcheroo. It works. And the other 2 are because, I mean, one's for my gaming PC and the other one's for my streaming PC, which also has games on it. So, actually I have 5. There's a Series X one in it. There's a Series X in my room. Yeah, there's something wrong with me, that's for sure. I had 4 PS4 controllers too last year. I've only got 2 PS5 controllers, so I guess I'm getting better. To be fair, they're not in short supply. You can just get those controllers in so many different colors nowadays. You just can't get the actual consoles, which is quite funny. But yeah, if you ever thought about getting Series S, it's digital only. It's not as powerful, so it might be outdated at some point. But for the moment, it's a good console. And also, one thing I also like, the USB port works when it's turned off, even if it's in eco mode. I put mine in eco mode, and it still charges my controllers and downloads my games when I've turned it off. That's incredible. Unless, of course, you switch it off with the plug. But I mean, like, if you turn it off, it still does things. It still charges your controllers. I use it to charge my PS5 controllers too. So I think that says something. But yeah, it's a good console. But obviously, the PS5 and the Series X are definitely superior to the Series S. But a year on, the Series S, I think, is a worthy console. And once the new games, I mean, they already are rolling out. But once they roll out even more with Halo and everything, you know, it's just going to get better and better. So I cannot wait. I do wonder how they'll make a Pro for each console, because I feel like the Series X and the PS5, they're powerful enough as they are. So how powerful would you have to make another console to make it a Pro console? It would be something quite mad, because I feel like the consoles we already got are Pro ones already. So it's like, so how do we make them more powerful than this then? Also, what I love about consoles is value for money. £250 for Series S, $450 for Series X, and $350 or $450 for a PS5, depending on what you want, whether disc edition or not. If you paid £450 for a PC, you don't get to play the same games. You don't get to run the games that PS5 or Series X would, and that's great. Like, PC gaming is better. I have played it. It's smoother. You know, graphics are crazy. I get what people mean when PC gaming is great. Plus, you can use controller on it, so it's not like mouse and keyboard, you have to use it. So I don't like using that personally. I prefer controller. So with a controller, it's great. GTA looks bloody amazing on there as well, and other games too. Forza looks great. So I understand the appeal behind PC gaming, but console gaming will always have the monetary value. £450 for something as powerful as a Series X. You're not getting a PC as powerful for £450. You're just not getting a PC that can run for the new Forza games, that can run latest games for £450. It's just not going to happen. Call of Duty, whatever. So yeah, that's what I love about consoles. Value for money. It's important. And nowadays, consoles can play 60 FPS, which is huge, because they couldn't before. And some games, they play 120 hertz. Some games, 120 hertz. 1080p or 2K, sure, fine. It's not going to be full on 4K 120. I get it, but still, 120 hertz, even at 1080p, for a console, is bloody amazing. And the fact that we got that right now is a sight to behold. It's amazing. This is a Series S review. What am I talking about now? Anyway, yeah, that is it for today. And tune in next week for my PS5 thoughts. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see ya.